Howdy y'all, Erica here from Highway 49 RC. Hopefully y'all are doing absolutely fantastic this morning. For me it is quite rainy and wet, so I'm going to be staying inside today. But as you know by the title of this video, I want to make a custom sway bar for my Gelande 2. Reason being is it's got way too much body roll for my liking, especially when I have it set up with a softer suspension. Having a softer, more plush suspension, especially in the rear, just makes the whole rig look and feel a little more scale when you're bumping around over rocks and roots on the trail. I just like the look of it a lot better. The thing is, when I go to actually crawl it, there is just an unbelievable amount of body roll, and because the front shocks I keep stiffer than the rear, due to the heavier weight in the front just to literally just support the extra weight, it causes the rear to just bottom out each side without the front really flexing at all. Let me show you what I mean. I've got my suspension adjusted back to where I like it normally because I was pulling a trailer with it recently. So I keep the rear hanging out about in the middle, and of course some of this could be mitigated with better shocks, but we're ignoring that for right now. And the front also kind of in the middle, but overall stiffer than the rear. So if I want to go and flex the front and the body move pretty much together until the rear bottoms out, and then the front will start to flex. And I want to try to eliminate some of that body roll because I just don't like the way it looks, to be honest with you. And I want to see if a sway bar can help fix that. Of course, some better shocks could also probably help the situation a bit as well, because I'm using the RC4 Drive King shocks, and we all know, I don't need to say it, but they suck. They really suck. I got them for the looks, not for their functionality, of course. My original idea was to use the sway bar off of my Yeti, but it's way too big for my landie, and it's way too stiff as well. Like, this is designed for much more aggressive movements and forces than this thing's going to put on this sway bar, so it's just going to act like a rock. So I decided, alright, we can't use this. I was thinking about making some really over-engineered links and stuff, like making these parts out of aluminum, CNCing them, and all that jazz. And I was like, you know what, wait a minute. This might be a lot easier than I'm thinking. This is literally just two rod ends stuck together on the end of a link. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole sideways in the link that I'm going to put some piano wire through. Right here, I've got this left over for making some CV pins. And then I'll just use the screw on the end to clamp it in there. Assuming that this here is our piano wire, which is acting as our torsion spring, it'll be coming through another hole here on the chassis somewhere that I'll drill. The sway bar arm will get clamped onto it via this screw. There'll be a hole sideways through the arm, and then the sway bar link will get bolted to the axle down here. And then of course I do have a flatbed on this, so I need to make sure that everything clears and doesn't come up past this level. And I think it should all clear and work pretty perfectly. With all that said, hopefully you guys get the idea. I think this is going to turn out pretty good. It's going to look better than I thought this was going to. I thought just having a link and some rod ends was going to look kind of cheesy, but I think it'll be okay actually. So with that, I'm going to head out in the garage, drill a couple holes, cut my piano wire, and we can get this thing assembled. So I've got the sway bar installed. It looks pretty good. I'm definitely digging it. I don't think it looks too out of place either. Let's set it down and see if it functions properly. So it works a little bit. I'd say it's probably, I don't know, 45% of what I would want ideally. So I guess unfortunately the piano wire was actually too soft for this purpose. So with that in mind, I think I'm going to take the Yeti sway bar that I've got, and I'm just gonna chop the ends off of it, grind some flats on it like I did before, and slap that in and see if this does it. Alright, the Yeti sway bar element is in there. Let's see how this does. That is a lot better. That's a lot closer to what I was looking for. I didn't want the rear just completely slamming into the wheel well. And I'd say that's perfect. That's exactly what I was after. So took a little bit of trial and error, but it works. There we go, guys. Sway bar for the Landie is done. I'm gonna have to get out on the trail one of these days and give it a good test, give it a shakedown. Unfortunately, it's been raining cats and dogs here, so that's gonna have to wait for another day. But with that, if you guys have enjoyed this little build / upgrade video, hope you guys have enjoyed. If this does happen to be the first video that you have seen by me, make sure you go down, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below. Make sure to leave a big fat thumbs up as well. As always, follow me on Instagram, support me on Patreon, join my Discord server, and become a member of the channel to help support the making of videos just like this one. With that, you guys, thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see y'all in the next one.